What's good, YouTube? Justin Righteous is here. I like to yap on world topics. Back with another reaction video. Today we have Gen Z, the worst time to be alive, which is a bold statement. I do not think that's true, but let's see what bro has to say. Let's get straight into the video.
The other day I woke up to two things. One, my Kurt Cobain poster falling off the wall again. Two, the realization that I might have lost the timeline dice roll, as somehow I've managed to be born during one of the worst times in all of human history. I was born in 2003, and as a result, I am now unwillingly a part of Generation Z. Or Gen Z, if you will. Growing up was fire. Everything ranging from the internet still coming up, playing Jetpack Joyride on your damn iPod Touch, or even the game-changing iPhone 6 dropping. Back then, you had the Hall of Fame browser games like Club Penguin or even Pop Tropica. You even had TV shows like Arthur. The only real worry you would have in these times was not being able to locate your group of friends' bicycles outside someone's crib, or getting your ball stuck underneath someone's car. Then some time flew by, and you're starting to enter your adult years, where for some reason society around you only now decides to fall into complete and utter chaos when it's your turn to actually become an adult.
I mean, utter chaos is a crazy statement. If you follow the law of entropy, at the end of the day, the laws of physics, yeah, the world does get crazier and crazier as time goes on. But, I mean, chaos is a bold statement because we don't have no Black Death to worry about. We don't have no World War I's, World War II's to worry about, no barbarians pulling up to our city, pulling up inside our house to kidnap our family and torture us. You know what I mean? We're definitely living the light life. It's light for Gen Z for sure. But I mean, we do have it's more, our problems are more mental, more like stress, anxiety, self-esteem problems, depression. Those are where the chaos lies.
You could have been a fucking milkman in 1950 and still be able to purchase a house. However, the year is now 2025, in which,
like I said in a previous video, the purchasing a house problem is a skill issue. I know people younger than me that can afford a house because their parents taught them how to save and invest since they were 12 years old. So it's not about the economy, it's about financial literacy.
Which niggas are graduating from high school, furthering their education, landing a job, and still can't afford literally anything. In 1970, the average American yearly wage was $9,870, which is equivalent to $80,800 today. And the average American home around this time frame costs roughly about 23 grand, which is equivalent to 180,000 today. As it stands right now in 2025, the average American salary is slightly above 60 grand. The average American home is a little bit under 400 grand. Listen, I'm no mathematician or economist, but it ain't hard to tell that there's a clear discrepancy between these two time periods. Back in the day, niggas could have worked for one, emphasis on 1 year, and already have made nearly 50% save for a house. However, in today's economy,
that's true.
Fuck no. By the time you've put in a year's worth of work, you're not even getting a quarter of the way there. 16% to be exact. It would take you 6.5 years to actually purchase and own that damn house. Then you have Canada. And despite me actually being from here, I'm not even gonna bother talking about it because niggas are gonna get pissed off. I might have to end the damn video if I start talking about its economy. Put it simply.
I'm from Canada too. And I mean, Canada has one of the best qualities of life in the whole world. There's no doubt about that. Just, this is like scientifically proven. Look at the statistics. America has a bunch more opportunities for growth. But if you want to live a good life, you got to move to Canada. Quebec, Canada actually has one of the highest minimum wages in the world. So, I mean, the cost of living is high, but we also have a very high minimum wage. So it's relative. As far as buying a house, start saving up when you're young. As soon as you get a job, save up. Don't spend on ridiculous things, right? This is really, I want to say it's that simple, but it's not. At the end of the day, there's obviously a bunch of other factors that come into it. But, learn about money, learn about saving and investing.
Simply, where I'm from, the average salary is roughly 54 grand. Canadian, by the way. And the average cost for a house is 848 grand.
No, that's That's ridiculous. Okay, the house I live in is $350, 350,000, and the house me and my parents used to live in was, I mean, back in like 2000, back in like 2007, 8, it was 250,000. But by the time we sold it in 2019, it had appreciated to $430,000. So it doubled. The price of the price of our house doubled from around 2008 to 2019 in about 11 years. So I mean, averages obviously are being overridden by like super expensive houses, but nobody needs a 2, 3, 4, $5 million house, you know?
Working for a year on the average salary would get me 6 singular percentage towards my house. In other words, it would take me 15.7 years to pay my house off. What the fuck? Back in the day, you could have literally been an immigrant coming from a third world country, get a basic ass job, and buy a house. However, in today's economy, as someone who was born and raised here, went to school, got a job, I might have a better chance getting hit by a car than actually buying a house.
But you just have to buy an apartment or you just have to rent an apartment. You know, it just is what it is. Just rent an apartment or, you know, buy a condo if it's cheaper. You know, that's just how it is. All the people who followed the financial literacy blueprint, they bought the apartment buildings, they bought the condos, they bought the houses, and now they're renting it to you that doesn't have financial literacy, right?
Remember when people used to actually purchase and own things? Like, remember when you actually had enough money to go somewhere and buy something without paying it off? Me neither. But nowadays, society is set up in a way where you can finance practically anything, including fucking Uber Eats.
Which is crazy. You can finance Uber Eats. That is true. You can finance almost everything. But is that a bad thing or a good thing? To be able to finance everything. Think about it. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? You could argue that that's just the future. It's like, it's just where we're headed. It kind of makes life easier to be able to finance everything. I mean, obviously it shows a bigger picture of where the economy is standing, but if you could finance everything, that definitely makes everyone's life easier. You know, the people that don't have the whole sum, the whole sum of money that it takes to buy the thing, just finance it, you know?
By the simple utilization of a damn Klarna account, you can literally spread a payment out over the span of 4 months. Like, you can deadass buy Chipotle for $11.50 and pay $2.87 from now until July. The fact that they're even willing to provide this possibility for people only further reaffirms that niggas are genuinely struggling outside. Like, people actually don't have money now. Back in the day, the internet used to...
Yeah, you could say that it means that people don't have money, but you could also say that it means that the company selling the service has money. It means that Uber Eats has money. It means that whatever Shopify has money. They have the money to buy it for you first and then give it to you while you pay in instrumental payments.
To be a simple place where you could literally just fuck around. You can still do that. However, in 2025, it has become absolutely ridiculous. The amount of shit on here that's posted on a day-to-day basis in which anyone can access at any point. Nigga, it might even be thrown into your face. Gen Z being consistently on the internet's not helping them either, and is definitely warping their views of what real life is supposed to look like. Mind you, I'm no life guru, but there ain't no way in hell that the human brain was designed to consume this type of content every single day. The first one we have is social media. Back in the day, my parents used to tell me it's that damn phone. Now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize it might actually be that damn phone. This shit will
it really is that damn phone.
If they're not rich by 25, they are nothing but an absolute failure. Me included. Granted, getting rich as soon as possible is definitely a valid move, and you should aim for that, to be honest, because what's stopping you? However, people are forgetting before the internet, there was literally damn near no way you could actually be rich by 25. You would have had to finish school around your early 20s and then finesse your way up the ladder before your employer would even consider the thought of paying you a decent salary.
True.
Or commit a crime. Nowadays, you could...
That's why Mr. Beast is the first billionaire under 30 who did not inherit his wealth, because it was impossible back then.
Pull up practically any social media platform and see your 13, 16-year-old millionaire who started a clothing business that's just straight up booming.
That is definitely the plague. Look. y'all should use that as motivation rather than anything else. Don't compare yourself to these people, but just tell yourself that it could be possible if that is what you want. If that's not what you want, then forget these people. Focus on building something you care about. Focus on becoming a doctor. Focus on building a product, building something cool that's, that you want the future to have. Them, they don't build nothing. They just create a clothing brand and use marketing to their advantage to make millions of dollars at whatever age they are. So don't compare yourself to these people. Follow your own path. Life is good. You have access to food and housing. That's the basic needs of life. So just do what you want to do.
Someone who managed to figure out YouTube automation and is making thousands of dollars a month, or your 8th life guru who is somehow a millionaire and despite you not knowing how, still wants you to sign up for his course. This shit is not real life. Gen Z is in a position where they're able to open the internet and access pretty much advice on anything they need in their life. Literally anything. You ever notice how you could open your phone and someone somewhere out there in the universe is trying to give you advice on what you should or shouldn't do in your relationship? Like, I'm talking, you open your phone on your lunch break at work and there's just immediately a nigga screaming on your phone talking about, any guy that's around me, bro, needs at least 50 bodies.
I instantly skip those videos because they train your mind to think like that, and it is not true. They live in a whole completely different world than you do. Imagine someone who lives in Miami, someone who lives in LA. They encounter a whole different life than you do. They encounter different people with different goals than you do in your little city of Illinois. You know what I mean? It's like, just skip those, because relationship advice, is definitely something that, like, when you hear, you want to follow, because love is different for everyone, and some people have more success than others. So the ones that have less success in their love life will definitely try and follow that, those little tips, the short form. But I will say that you should definitely open up a YouTube tutorial. If you're struggling with your love life, you should definitely open up a YouTube tutorial. Don't go on TikTok. Trying to find good relationship advice for 15 seconds. That's ridiculous. Love is one of the most complex things of human nature. But some people do have good advice, and familiarizing yourself with, the culture around it is definitely a good thing.
Otherwise, he can't hang with us. What the Dumbass advice like this is what's constantly being fed to Gen Z, and I used to think that hella people didn't actually take it serious, so I disregarded it. Until I started experiencing signs of this shit in my life. You'll be chilling with your boy who just doom scrolls social media, and then all of a sudden your conversations start looking like this. Yo, bro, how long you been with your girl? I don't know, we're coming up about like 1 year maybe. But like, bro, do you love her? Do I love my girl? Yes, I do love her. Bro. How would you know if you love her yet, bro? You haven't cheated on her. What is that? What does that mean? What are we talking about here? Bro, you could only truly know if you love her if you cheat and start feeling guilty, bro. Otherwise, how do you know if you love her, bro? You didn't cheat. Who the told you that, bro? Where did you get that from? Bro, what do you mean? You didn't see that Instagram reel I sent you earlier, bro? Fuck! Or you'll be doing your damn laundry and then all of a sudden your phone starts ringing. Yo, bro, hear me out. A key that can open many locks is a master key. But a lock that can be opened by many keys is a shit. You don't stop consuming these dumbass reels. Don't even get me started.
Look, I'm not going to disagree with that analogy. But what I'm going to say is, if you're just using girls for, sexual pleasure or release or whatever, what you're doing is you're reinforcing a consumer mindset, right? What you want to do with women is, first of all, control your urges and work on your own goals, okay? But if you do want to, if you do want to enjoy women, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to use them for co-creation. You're supposed to build with them. You're supposed to help them achieve their goals. They're supposed to help you achieve their goals. I'm not here to tell anybody what kind of relationship type you should seek, whether it's monogamy, polygamy. I'm not here to tell you if you should have just one girlfriend or multiple girlfriend, because it varies between person, right? But as long as you guys are both helping each other, that is the key. That is the key to life.
Started on dating advice that's portrayed on the internet for women. Social media has some women thinking that they're one of one and so that they should never settle for less. And now they're all entitled to marrying some rich man. Now you're on a date with the girl in which she looks you square in the face and goes,
So what are your hobbies? What do you like to do on your free time?
I like to, read books. I go to the gym. Maybe I'll play some instruments. Well, what about you?
I'm high maintenance, I need me a man who could fund my lifestyle alongside his, and if he can't, he's a bum. I need me a provider, someone who takes me shopping, surprises me with nice gifts, takes me to do my nails, my hair.
What? This shit.
You see, I don't agree with that. That is not true. The girls do not say that, bro. Come on. The girls do not say that. How is a girl going to say that in a place where there's literally, you live in a city where there's no millionaires, bro. She's not going to say that. That is not true. Like, bro, I tell girls what I do every day. You know what I mean? I tell them I make content. I work out. I read books. I like to read about tech. I like to read about the future. I study physics. They want a man that is chasing something. They want a man that is just doing something with their life. That's all they care about. Like, obviously, maybe in the future, they want to start. Most women don't even need a provider nowadays, right? Feminism, or maybe just the economy or just the way the world works now, made it to a way that these women can actually provide for themselves. So they do not care about that anymore. If a woman cares about if the only thing a woman wants from you is for you to provide for her, then she cannot provide for her own self. She is basically a child. Okay? Everyone has their own needs and wants and needs, and if she wants you to provide a certain lifestyle, then I guess so be it. But just know that there's other women out here that don't care about that, and if that's what you care about, if you want to provide that for her, then that's perfectly fine. If she helps you, do what you got to do on a daily basis and she doesn't hold you back.
Don't even take place on dates sometimes. I remember back in my second year of college, I was talking to my boy about how I was going to get home this day. And this girl overhears me drop the city I'm supposed to be traveling to. And she just buds in talking about,
oh, you're from that city too? I wish you would have told me earlier.
I didn't tell you anything. I wasn't talking to you, actually.
Because I'm actually getting an Uber there right now, and you could have came with. I'm high maintenance. I don't do the bus. I'll just get an Uber or like a ride from someone, you know what I mean?
What the fuck? Ultimately, it's your life, so live the lifestyle you see fit. But we can't deny the simple fact that social media has planted the seed of entitlement in which hella people now feel as if they deserve these luxurious items and or lifestyles for just simply existing.
Yeah.
Or because Sally from fucking TikTok
though.
told them so. Then you have the life advice. And for the record, there's usually some gems that do exist and you can come across them on the internet. But when you don't come across those gems, it'll be nighttime right before you hit your casual hour of doom scroll before you go to bed, in which now you're hearing niggas talking about how if you don't have a 4 a.m. morning routine, you're not a man. Excuse me? Or one day you'll be feeling a bit under the weather, so you miss the gym, in which you open TikTok to,
you're just a bitch. Honestly, that's not me trying to be some after school special shit. You really are a bitch.
Some of the advice that's thrown into men's faces may genuinely be good advice. However, the bad advice may be extremely fucking bad. The year is 2025, in which everyone now has a goddamn podcast, and as a result leads to people getting on these microphones and saying practically everything and anything. I've always thought that it's not that serious because it is the internet at the end of the day, but then I realized that there's people out there who may genuinely consume this advice, and so as a result they take it to heart, so now they live their day-to-day life like this, which can actually be pretty fucking dangerous.
That is the skill that everyone needs to adopt, okay? It's the filter. Know how to filter information. Please, I cannot stress this enough. Know which information applies to you and which information does not apply to you. Okay, if you don't know, just try it out, okay? Just try it out harmlessly. You're not gonna lose anything from trying certain things out, okay? But that is the most important skill Gen Z can build, is to know how to filter between what's real and what's fake. on social media.
We've hit a point in life as a society where not only is everything accessible, but can also be accompanied by the help of a fucking robot. AI was introduced to the internet, and now it's somehow on the verge of taking over the damn planet. Remember when you would go to the grocery store and have to wait in line until a cashier can help you? Went into Walmart the other day in which I saw the most self-checkout machines I've probably ever seen in my life. Like, they straight might have had only like 2 cashiers. I was at a pancake restaurant that has its own self-driving robot to deliver niggas food. This shit was low-key fire, I can't lie. But just imagine when it starts taking people's orders too. Starbucks now has a prototype for a self-service barista.
Oh,
before you know it, humans won't even be needed anymore for the most mundane of jobs.
Which, is that a bad thing? No, it's not a bad thing. Because now you don't have to work a job that you hate. You're just gonna have to figure out a different way to make money, which is where the future lies. Okay, guys, the future lies in every single person having their own business, providing their own superpowers to the world.
Almost everything can be done with AI. You can ask ChatGPT damn near any question in the universe and it will somehow find the answer. People are starting whole ass businesses with AI. Hell, some content creators are even running fully automated YouTube channels.
I wanna see what that says. Is it normal to shit while standing? I didn't even see that. Typically, it's not considered normal to poop while standing up. Most people go to the bathroom in a seated position. It's more in line with the natural posture for elimination. However, some people might experience the urge to go while standing or even find themselves unintentionally releasing. If this happens often, it could be a sign of some physical, like muscle control issues. If that happens regularly and it's causing concern, then
businesses with AI. Hell, some content creators are even running fully automated YouTube channels, pocketing thousands a month.
Yeah,
this shit is only going to get worse for the economy because a lot of jobs are actually starting to become obsolete. It's concerning. Back in the day, everyone would constantly tell niggas to go study some form of computers. But imagine following that same advice today. It's gotten to a point where the computers are now studying us.
I'm not made of nerves, Yusuf. I'm a computer program designed for conversation.
Why are you stuttering?
All in all, Generation Z as a whole has some scary times ahead of them. People are literally following the older generations and society's advice, yet aren't able to afford literally anything. The internet and social media are absolutely warping everyone's view of what life is supposed to look like. AI is about to take over the damn world, blah, blah, blah. It won't be a fun next set of years.
Look, don't advice. When it comes to advice, you can't follow anyone's advice. Well, you can follow people's advice if it applies to your life. I suggest everyone read books. Okay? Read books, use AI to summarize books, use AI to figure out what book you need to read for whatever goal you're trying to reach. Okay, audiobooks. I have a playlist on my YouTube called Free Audiobooks That Changed Me. You can listen to these audiobooks whatever you're doing. And this will install a mindset that will make you understand that you are able to do anything. Okay? Anything in your life, reach any goal. So I think reading books has not died. Okay? It's just people are reading less books. But the books are still there. The information is still there for you to consume and absorb. Okay, the human mind has infinite capacity. It can take in as many information as it wants. You're not gonna drown in information. Okay, so read books that's the most important. There's a book for everything. If you want to learn how to cook, if you want to learn how to think, if you want to learn how to talk to people better, if you want to learn how to see through the matrix. If you want to learn how to see through there's a book for everything. If you want to learn how to make money, there is a book for everything. If you want to learn how the economy works, if you want to learn if you want to become an engineer, you could become an engineer without school, just by reading books. Imagine. So it's there. I see books as like a spell book, like in Harry Potter. Like in Harry Potter, you collect a book and it adds a new ability to your skill tree. That's what books are. They're spell books, ability books. They increase your abilities. They level you up as a person. Age is just a number. It's how much you know. Okay?
I mean, you tell me. Do you think Gen Z is at fault for its current living state as they don't want to work hard anymore? Or is there something within the system that clearly isn't right? However, it's easier to just turn a blind eye. I gotta cut this shit off again, man. I'm starting to sound crazy again, bro.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Leave your thoughts on the comments down below. I really want to know what you think. I will catch you guys on the next one.